Hey guys, it's Cam for 15 and I'm back with another video. Right now I'm making this review right after the game just kind of ended. Well, basically I've just making this right after the pick Chase Daniels threw, the second one. And yeah, I'm just gonna say this to start off the video. Good game to the Raiders. Good game to the Raiders. They had a phenomenal effort, amazing, turnaround from behind victory, at the last second as well. But good game to the Raiders. They really showed up today. They wanted to play. They wanted it. And I'm going to admit that as a Bears fan that they kicked our asses today. They really did. For basically that entire first half and then that last drive that they got the ball and scored their game-winning touchdown on. That's it. They utterly, kicked our asses, and that's all I have to say. So good game to the Raiders. You deserve this win more than the Bears did. Now I'm gonna get to the Bears. I'm just gonna say this: every position, not every position, but every three, all the three phases of today's game, they all failed today. Defense, definitely F. This was by far their worst game in the Nagy era of when we had Nagy. This was by far their worst game. So I'm not gonna say anything. That was by far their worst performance out of any freaking game I've watched with when we've had Cleo Mack. And there's been some pretty ugly ones to watch, like that Giants one and that Miami Dolphins game. This was terrible. They failed. F minus. And there ain't even an F minus. Offense, they deserve an F. And special teams, they were good for the most part. I'm going to give them an F plus. Because, oh my freaking goodness. And I'm going to start with special teams. Because special teams, they did the least amount of damage. But there was one dude who had the worst amount of damage. And it came at a stupid, wrong time. Because I said this in a tweet. When we went up 21-17. All right, now we do not need dumb penalties. Play smart, be smart, don't cause dumb penalties. After we scored 21-0, after we scored 21, went up 21-17, and we took the lead in the game. Allen Robinson throws the ball into the crowd, which made a dumb penalty, which caused the Raiders almost to get a damn touchdown out of that. All thanks to, basically a fumble thanks to Shaq McManus causing a fumble really saved that drive. And then another dumb penalty, and possibly the penalty that lost us this damn game. And that is Kevin Pierre-Louis running into the kicker, which later ensued a 5-yard penalty, which was a 5-yard penalty. It was still fourth down, but then the Raiders go for it on fourth down by just running it up in the middle on a punt fake, or on a punt fake. I swear, I don't care what the hell was going on. My question is this. Or actually, I have two things for this special teams unit. One, on the penalty that happened, why were you going for a block? You got a 3 and out. Why did you not just be like, look, stand up straight, go block for Cohen to take the ball back? Why did you not do that? Why did you not do that? Tell me, why did Kevin Pierre-Louis need to go for the block? He should have been standing up front and ran back to where Cohen was to block for him. And second, Kevin Pierre-Louis, he needs to be cut sometime this week. So whether it's during the bye week or sometime this week, or just don't play him at all anymore. That was a dumb penalty. A dumb penalty. If I am as coach in that locker room, when I see the film, I swear, I get on Kevin Pierre-Louis asking him what the hell was he thinking. There was no need to block for that, and that may be the single reason why the Bears lost this game. Now, all in all, I'm still not blaming that one penalty on the Bears losing the game. I think there were many factors for the reason why the Bears lost this game. One of the reasons is we got our asses handed to us for a half, and then our asses handed to us on that last drive. I guess another thing I can give an F to is the fucking coaching of this game. The coaches on all the levels, Fs, 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 Fs. Really, this entire team deserves a whole huge big F because they played like absolute dog crap. And I'm not going to use the S word. I should be using the S word, but I'm going to be fairly, PG here. The least I'll say is the A word. I won't be like dropping F-bombs like I did week 1. But as you can hear, I'm fairly heated because for a half, it was anemic to watch this team. I was on the brink of almost giving up for after that. I was literally on the brink of literally stopping to watch the game. I was literally on the brink to not even watching this game anymore by the time the second half started, after the Bears went 3 and out. I will say this. Even though the Bears did make a valiant comeback in the third quarter and stuff like that, it was really only based on one mistake the Raiders made. And that was just a play calling error, or, a handoff where Josh Jacobs thought he was going to get a typical handoff instead of a toss. That really would change the game and got the Bears back into the game. For the third quarter, that was the only quarter where we dominated. The first, second, and fourth quarter is when we got our asses kicked. First half, I'm just going to say this. The first half was terrible. The defense was awful. Awful. Like I said, when I started this thing up, they deserve an F-. You let So after the great performance last week against the Minnesota Vikings, where you literally do next to nothing, you let this Raiders offense do all that on you? You held Dalvin Cook to like 39 yards of rushing or something like that, but you have Josh Jacobs go over 100 on you. One, I just got to say this. I don't know why Chuck Pagano didn't, blitz more, because for some reason our O-line, our D-line did not show up to play today. They were not getting interior pressure. They did not get no whatsoever pressure on Derek Carr all day. There was only one drive where he was actually rattled. But every other drive, Derek Carr had a clean pocket. And, credit to the Raiders offensive line. They stepped their game up, and they were basically not going to let the Bears get no pressure on their quarterback whatsoever. It's a mixture of many things. One mixture, the Raiders came to play, the Bears didn't, and that's all on three phases. Predominantly the offense, and more importantly the defense. They didn't show up to play. The defensive line, it got no interior pressure. It got no pressure whatsoever. They couldn't stop the run. This was one of the games where they could not stop the run whatsoever, and this is troubling from an aspect because now Akeem Hicks went down, and he probably dislocated his damn arm. They got no pressure. They literally got handed to them for a quarter, for 3 quarters of this game. And, it was anemic. It was god-awful to watch. Like I said, the defense was freaking terrible. Mostly on the part of the defensive line. I never thought I would see the Raiders offensive line get more of a push than our defensive line would get a push. And Mark Schlereth, who was a commentator in the game today, he said it out flat. He basically said the Raiders wanted it more than the Bears did. And they're taking it to the Bears defensive line. They're being aggressive. They're pushing they're putting hands on him. And I don't know. Now you can say before I get to that, the offense. It was the first half, it was anemic. Now the third quarter, that's when we saw some bright spots. It was good. Another thing. I know I was not a huge proponent of having Chase Daniel start for the rest of the season. I said, if he plays, pretty good where he's not turning the ball over and doing certain things which can tend to piss people off. Um, he could be or he should be the starting quarterback going forward since it looks like he's more of a control of an offense. But after this game, as much as I do not like Trubisky for what he's done the first 3 weeks, and a little bit of what he did in the little Vikings game before he got hurt, it goes to show that we need him as our starting quarterback because there was some parts where Chase Daniels did really well, and that was mostly that third quarter. Other than that, the other 3 quarters he was terrible. One of the things I said was a key to the game. He cannot have turnovers. He threw 2 very dumb interceptions. He threw one. His first interception, he was trying to throw it to I think Allen Robinson, but he didn't let Allen Robinson cross the field all the way covered, and the linebacker was just sitting there and just throws it. I'm pissed off about that. He had an okay game. I'd give him a D minus. He could have been better, but the least I'll give him is D minus. But the offense was terrible. Offensive play calling, awful. That deserves an F. Matt Nagy got out play called by John Gruden today. After seeing that, it makes me want John Gruden as my freaking offensive coordinator calling our freaking play calling. I don't understand for a guy who was on the Chiefs. He should know the defense of the Raiders some better. And really, the Raiders defense took it to this Bears offense mostly for the first half. The Bears defense kind of rattled them in the second half, but really, that's all I have to say. The play calling was terrible. Another thing that was terrible, the offensive line. I'm sorry. This entire year, the offensive line has been god awful. It's been terrible. We cannot get no push on the run. The blocking is, below average. And I just gotta say this, point out this. Charles Leno, my freaking goodness. Charles Leno is on the verge of pissing me off. And if I was a Bears coach right now, I'd probably have benched his ass right now. Because this guy has been terrible. He has been awful. I don't know. We paid him money, and he has not been playing to what we paid him to. He has been terrible. My goodness. Another thing I can say, you can possibly say this game takes me back to the Dolphins game, but it really doesn't. I feel like this game was even worse than the Dolphins and the Giants game combined because the team just didn't show up to play at all today. They did not show up to play. They only showed up in that one third quarter, and after that, they did nothing. Literally, they did when the game started off. They didn't. They looked like they didn't want to be there. Now you can point to factors. Maybe it was mostly because maybe the Bears should have just after the Vikings game, the day after the Vikings game, they should have flew straight to London, and you did that because that's what the Raiders did. Maybe they should have did that. So maybe next time, if there is a game where we play in London next year or in another year or so from now, maybe it's probably better we go to London right off the bat, whether it's right after the game, you tell your players, go home quick, meet up late at night here, like 11 or something, get to the plane right, and let's get to London. Or something else. The coaching, like I said, was terrible today. The coaching was terrible. There's really nothing I can say other than the Bears got their butts kicked or got their asses handed to them today by their Oakland Raiders. And like I said at the start, good game to the Raiders and a phenomenal job on the Raiders and to John Gruden's team on severely, really dominating us for 3 quarters. That was honestly one of the worst performances as a Bears fan I have seen. And I've seen some pretty bad performances in the past. But that was absolutely the worst for a team that's supposed to be contending. If performances like that today, we're not a playoff team. We are not a playoff team. I like the fight that we had in the third quarter, but if we're going to get dominated for 3 quarters in the game, we're not going to be a playoff team. And, we're 3-2 now, going into the bye week. That's not good. And that's not good at all. The Packers play today. So, right now, we Bears fans need to be the biggest Cowboys supporter and make sure that they lose and go drop down to 3-2. The Vikings won. They're 3-2 now. I'm very heated right now. Very disappointed. Thank goodness I'm gonna be ordering me pizza. And the crazy thing is, I'm already heated as it is before the game even started because of our damn cat food at my school. You know, um, it was just a terrible performance. A terrible performance. I thought the defense would want it. I thought Khalil Mack would want it more for this game. And I'm gonna be honest. Khalil Mack deserves an F like everybody else on the defense. And I hate to say that. He did not come out to perform today. He did not come out to perform. If anything, for MVP, I'm not giving no MVP to the Bears at all. I'll give an MVP to the Raiders. Josh Jacobs. Congratulations, Josh Jacobs. You owned our defense for a game. Like I said in my preview, this was a winnable game. There was just steps they needed to take and follow, and they did not do that. As for now going to the bye week, the Bears have a lot to think about. Because now they got the Saints coming in to their building in 2 weeks from now. So, with time to prepare, hopefully Trubisky will be back for that Saints game, if not back for that Chargers game. Because, now looking at it might not be good for the future. And if we lose to the Saints, we'll drop down to 2-4. Or no, 3-4. Yeah, 3-4. No, 3-3. 3-3. It was a terrible performance today. Terrible. I hope this is the game where the Bears look at this and it reminds them of that Miami Dolphins game. Where it's that game where it was a winnable game, but because of dumb things happening, and you basically, the ignorance to show up and come out to play today, it was terrible. It was terrible. Nagy, right now I'm getting a message from Nagy. He's addressing the media. Nagy, please do not give a BS statement. Please say you got your asses handed to you guys, and you did not show up to play. Nagy's play calling this season has been questionable. He better coach his ass off in 2 weeks against the Saints because things are not looking good right now. Things are not looking good. You can't beat the Oakland Raiders. And the Oakland Raiders are a fairly competent team. But I just don't understand. I don't understand. Kevin Pierre-Louis, dude needs to be cut. If not a coach should have told him he just lost his job right now in the locker room, or the moment they land in Chicago, he should be told by Ryan Pace or one of the coaches that you have lost your job. And I know I'm overreacting to the penalty cause, but at the same time, I'm sorry. If you have a penalty that basically is a single reason why you possibly lost us this game, you deserve to be off this team. If not, go back to the practice squad. That was just dumb. Like I said, I'm not going to blame the reason we lost on one penalty. That is just one little small microcosm of this entire game as a whole. If you ask me, the main reason why we lost this game is mostly because the offense and the defense did not decide to come out to play today. They wanted to get their butts kicked. And it started from the first drive, from the get going. It started from the first drive. If the Bears really played like that the entire game, where they did nothing, the Raiders could have blew us out. They could have possibly put like 40 points on the board. Stuff like that. So yeah, that is my Chicago Bears game recap on a very terrible game to watch. Hopefully they watch film on this game, and I watch all of it. And, make sure they correct all these mistakes for the Saints game in 2 weeks back in Chicago. Because I guarantee you, if the Bears play like this in Soldier Field, They're getting booed. They're getting booed. Now, I think I said on my preview video, I said that I'm gonna make also another video that is gonna be the Supergirl, season premiere, episode review. Now, but when I make that review, I'll be a little bit less heated, or I'll probably have calmed down. But great, I just don't like to wake up and understand how a Bears lost this game. This is gonna be a game that's gonna be on the Bears' mind, and it's gonna be on these minds of. It could be that one game where if we don't end up making the playoffs that years, you can go back and look at that game and be like, we really should have really, won that game. And time again, it's these games. It's just like last year. We play these games against these teams that, we should beat, and it's a team that has no business, being in the game. And just like the Dolphins and the Giants from last year, we kept the Raiders in the game because we came out lackluster. We came out willing to play. We came out willing to work. Come to work and, really, win this game. And this has been the problem with Matt Nagy and his team. I don't know if you're taking these lesser teams to you seriously, but I think now you need to start taking these teams more seriously right now. I'm getting sick and tired of losing games that we need to win. So, that's all I got to say. Hopefully Trubisky is back by, the week we play the Saints and stuff like that. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. But other than that, this has been the Chicago Bears game recap. Like I said, a very terrible performance. And this has been Camry 15. If you like this video, leave a like. If there's anything you want to comment on that you feel like was a factor to the Bears losing, or you just agreed with me, and you want to make your point more valid, put that in the comment section. And also, if you want more Chicago Bears content, hit that subscribe button and stuff like that. You will now next Saturday and Sunday, you will not be getting any more Bears videos. You won't be getting a Bears video unless something major happens in, the update field. I might make a video maybe sometime in next weekend talking about injuries and stuff like that. And, stuff like that. But as for Bears videos, probably don't expect them to get, another Bears video till October 19th, which would be the Saturday before we play the Saints. So other than that, I will be back on. My next video will be the Supergirl review for tonight's Supergirl episode. So other than that, you guys will, if you want to check that out, you'll be seeing me later tonight then. So like I said, hopefully I'll be a little less, ticked off and annoyed and stuff like that. But going after seeing these games, these are the type of games where you go back and look at it and it's hard to sleep on. And this is definitely going to be a game where it's going to be hard to sleep on. So other than that, this is Camfrey 15. I'm signing out, and I'll see you guys later tonight for your Supergirl review. Peace.